Mahmood.
आइए please. So, you have qualified CSS examination.
Yes, sir.
So you want to join civil service of Pakistan.
Sir, yes, I hope to do so.
Okay. Introduce yourself and then you introduce Pakistan to us.
Gladly, sir. My name is Hamza Basharat. I hail from a very underdeveloped village right next to the line of control in Azad Kashmir, whereas I've been born and brought up here in the Twin Cities. I got my early education from Beacon House School System and obtained my bachelor's degree from the National University of Science and Technology in economics. My mother was a government teacher in Kashmir and is now retired. My father mostly worked abroad and he also has now returned. And so a bit about my personality, I like to socialize, engage with new people and learn all sorts of new things. I taught myself drumming, rap, writing a bit of poetry in my younger years. And apart from that, I really enjoy teaching, be it my friends, colleagues or whoever I can find. I mean, my class fellows, etc. And this was my second attempt at the civil service, which I passed by the grace of God. And Pakistan, sir, is my country. It is one of the developing nations of the world and one with very passionate people and lively people. And it is a very diverse economy, has a diverse set of ethnicities and great unity among its people. And it is a country that I hope, being a citizen of it, shall be one of the biggest economies and important countries of the years in the years to come.
So you live there in Poonch. There, this is your house.
Sir, I have been born and brought up here. I live here in the Twin Cities. My house is in Rawalpindi, but I'm originally from there. We do have a house there. We visit often.
Currently, political issues are very hot in Pakistan. Now, the matter is in the Supreme Court about the election of Provincial Assembly of Punjab and KPK.
Yes, sir.
What are the questions for determination before Supreme Court?
So I believe the question is whether when to hold the Punjab elections and the KPK elections. And obviously the country is in an economic conundrum, multifaceted one.
But that something has been decided when the assembly has been dissolved.
Yes, sir.
90 days election होना है.
Yes, sir.
अब issue क्या आ गया है?
So the issue is there's political strangling. Some parties want the election to happen, some don't. There's like a tug of war. So the Supreme Court has to then come in because the
parliament. Supreme Court ने जब अपना first order pass किया, it came in the newspaper. उन्होंने कहा there are 1, 2, 3 issues जो हम देखेंगे.
Sir, I am not aware of those.
Basharat, how do you see the role of social media in politics of Pakistan? The role of social media.
So I believe it is a double-edged sword. Social media has greatly increased political participation, political awareness, basic human rights among people, but at the same time, it exposes the whole nation to this menace of the fifth generation war, whereby this very social media can be used to propagate false news, propagate agendas of our enemies. Like in the case of Pakistan, Indian agencies, RAW, they try to assimilate this social media and spread wrongful information. So I think, sir, it's a double-edged sword.
Now you tell me, we are having economic issues. And you're in, mashallah, you have done your graduation in economics. What are the reasons for recession in an economy?
Recession in an economy in general, sir, the reasons are, I think, individual to those very economies. But in general, recession would be due to loss or a sharp decline in economic activity in any country. So, for example, but then the reasons, as you asked, there are many, and they depend on which economy we're talking about. For example, the recession of 2008 in the West happened due to the housing market crash, the mortgage industry. So the reason behind them were wrong monetary policy and this poorly planned mortgage system. If we talk about the recession then, which turned into a depression in the mid-1900s, 1930s rather, that was caused by a panic stock market crash recession, somewhat recessionary situation that Pakistan is facing is due to its ill planning of economic planning and decision making, poor governance sometimes. So the reasons are they depend on the economy individually.
Welcome to CSPs Academy for CSS PMS preparation. CSS PMS तहरीरी इम्तिहान के तमाम मज़ामीन की ऑनलाइन और ऑन कैंपस तैयारी के साथ साथ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्शन, असाइनमेंट चेकिंग, क्लास टेस्ट, मॉक एग्जाम, इंडिविजुअल टीचर डिस्कशन और फीडबैक सेशन का इनकाद किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा FPSC की तजवीज़ करदा बुक्स से बने मयारी नोट्स और CSPs पब्लिशर की बेहतरीन बुक्स मुहैया की जाएंगी। रजिस्टर नाउ एट 0316 570-1593.
You tell me, the debt of USA is more than the size of its economy. पढ़ा कहीं?
The
Debt.
Indeed, sir.
USA का जो debt है,
Yes, sir.
उसके size of economy से बड़ा है.
Indeed, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
But in your case, in case of Pakistan, that is hardly 80% of your GDP.
Yes, sir.
But why it is not being recommended to Pakistan to have more debt? And when they are getting the debt from the whole of the world.
So it's because globally it is now understood that the problem with any economy, or not problem, but the thing to look at in regard to debt is not the size of the debt, but the absorptive capacity of the country which is acquiring the debt. So in the United States case, in fact, sir, as you mentioned that it is more than its GDP, the current economists like Nouriel Roubini, they are highlighting that the global debt is like more than 200% of the global economy. China, it's around 300% of its GDP, but it is still within their absorptive capacity. Pakistan, on the other hand, sir, we have this currency mismatch, which modern economists highlight in generally, but then that can be applied to Pakistan, whereby our debt is in dollars, but our income is in rupees. So then, since we need to pay back the debt in dollars when we're talking about external debt, so since it has to be paid back in dollars, we do not have a large absorptive capacity because we don't have dollars. So that is why the United States can sustain a large sum of debt, but on the other hand, Pakistan would struggle to hold such a large number of debt for it.
Thank you.
What is doctrine of necessity and how it has affected the working of the state?
Sir, the doctrine of necessity in case of Pakistan refers to when the Supreme Court on certain occasions has taken some tough decisions and then labeled them as a necessity in the light of which those decisions have been taken. For example, the most famously in Pakistan, this doctrine of necessity has been used to defend martial laws and shun the cases that have been filed against the respective martial laws in the history of the country. And sir, sorry, I believe the second part of your question was how it has
Impacted the political landscape of the country and the governance of the state.
Indeed. So, I'm not a student of law or an expert, but as a citizen of Pakistan, I would say that the doctrine of necessity, when it has, what it has done is it has halted institutional development, because when instead of giving a logical, constitutional, rational answer, you just term or label a decision as it being because of a doctrine of necessity, then it halts the institutional development in the country. What is the country then being run by? Doctrine of necessity, it is such an abstract, vague concept that it can just be used or abused by anyone. So, sir, overall in the history of the country, what it has done is that it has not led us to a more rational and well-defined path, because it is such an abstract concept that our courts can use it anytime and defend anything. And martial laws have been a very unpopular part of our history for citizens of Pakistan. And the one thing that has defended them every respective martial law has been the doctrine of necessity. So, sir, I would say that it has overall hindered the development of the state as a whole. And
is there any provision of the Constitution which has ensured that this phenomena will not take place again?
So, I believe that landmark step in Pakistan, or time in Pakistan, was the advent of the 18th Amendment, whereby the martial law, its imposition, and any protection by the Supreme Court or the courts of Pakistan has been nullified and invalidated in the 18th Amendment that took place in, I believe, 2010. So I believe that is the landmark amendment in the Constitution of Pakistan which stopped the doctrine of necessity.
Join CSPs, where we believe that your dreams are our mission. So let us be your partners in this transformative journey as we equip you with knowledge, confidence, and resilience required to emerge as CSS toppers. Contact us on our given WhatsApp number 0316 570 1593 or visit our website www.csps.com.pk.
NAB, we all know, has miserably failed in the process of accountability. How do you see a new accountability body in terms of its structure and mandate?
I believe that in this regard, we can have an entirely new body. At the same time, we can also put NAB back on the right track. So I believe that, sir, it's about deciding as a nation, being consistent as a state in our policies and our decisions. So, sir, we can reform the NAB back into being workable, but then the amendments, their inconsistency is such that it is similar to the economic system. We don't have one plan. So similarly, with the accountability system, we don't have one plan. Every respective incumbent government brings in its own formula. So I think that, sir, for any accountability mechanism to work, we need to formulate one plan, and we need to follow that plan strictly, religiously within the state, and that is no matter which accountability bureau or structure we have, we will need to do that in order for it to work.
What is the PSP is your second choice?
Yes.
What is the importance of the working of a police station for the police department and for the people at large also?
Sir, I believe that at the core of the police service of Pakistan, and in general the police service, its core purpose is maintenance of law and order, and to prevent criminal activity and give protection and security to the people. And since it has been devolved after the police order, a police station, its work at its core is to give protection and a sense of protection, and inculcate community policing within its jurisdiction.
Okay.
Hamza, your third option is foreign service. Do you have any idea of the structure of an embassy?
I am not. I do not have a detailed idea about that. I'm sorry.
You know the difference between an ambassador and a high commissioner?
Ma'am, as far as I am aware, ambassadors are ones posted in the more important countries, and it is a more powerful post than that of a high commissioner. So, for example, I don't have a very clear idea. I really apologize.
What is your view on Pakistan's foreign policy?
Pakistan's foreign policy since inception has been one of friendly relations with all, and one of non-intervention in big political happenings around the world, and friendly relation with its Muslim countries and countries in general. And our recent national security policy somewhat added to it, so as to shift our focus from being a security state or having a security-centric foreign policy to being one with a more economic potential-centered foreign policy. So currently, after our national security policy, our foreign policy is supposed to be mostly centered around our economic potential and our economic partners throughout the globe.
You're originally from Kashmir. What is your view on the Kashmir dispute? And do you have any idea of how to resolve this problem if you were in charge?
If I were in charge, that would be a very tough decision. But at the same time, I think that the Kashmir issue is not that complicated as it is strangulated by politics. The Kashmir issue, since beginning, has been very clear. The people of Kashmir deserve a right to plebiscite and a right to self-determination, as agreed by India, as agreed by Pakistan, as agreed by the United Nations. But as I said, that it's simple because then everyone agrees to it. It is yet not materialized because of the politics between the countries and the atrocities by India. And similarly, I believe that in the current situation, the resolution of Kashmir is a tough job, but it is a tough. Along with being a tough job, it is not a very complicated matter. India and Pakistan need to sit on the table. In the current situation, we need to garner some friendly relations with India. We need to sit on the table because it is affecting both the parties. And once we sit down, we need to formulate a mechanism so as to understand what the Kashmiris want and simply deliver on that. And we need to sit down with India. We need to engage our partners. Pakistan, most importantly, I believe that if we want to move forward in the Kashmir issue, we need to strengthen ourselves economically, because the reason that India is not being forced or compelled towards coming on the table is because India is a big economic might now, and the global community simply refuses or hesitates to compel India to coming on the table. So in order to cater to that, we need to be economically strong, strengthen ourselves so that we hold more weight in the international community. Once we do that, Pakistan needs to try to use its stakeholders, China, the CPEC, which is going through Gilgit. China is a key partner of Pakistan and a key stakeholder in the Kashmir issue. Even it has its claims near the Ladakh belt. So we need to mobilize China, the United States, the United Nations, the international community. But in order for that, I believe that firstly we need to be an economic force to reckon with, so that the international community we can compare our weight with India.
Thank you so much, Hamza.
Give your career a boost with CSS PMS preparation from Civil Services Preparatory School. Join CSS PMS for on-campus and online classes. Join us for your bright future. Civil Services Preparatory School, Juvenile Markaz, Islamabad. Register now at 0316 570 1593.
Hamza, you studied criminology. What changes would you like to bring in the juvenile justice system of Pakistan?
Sir, the juvenile justice system of Pakistan and the juvenile justice system in general is is centered around a reformative or a rehabilitative system for the juveniles, so that we do not turn them into hardened criminals. And I believe that in Pakistan, the biggest issues in the juvenile justice system are that our society is, but then the society, I believe, is an important tenet in the justice system, because that is where the juveniles turn into hardened criminals. So we need to improve tenets of our society and aspects which...
Have you studied the Juvenile Justice System Act 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the mandate of FIA? How it is different from police?
From police. Sir, the FIA is... I will try to answer that question. It is a more investigative branch of the justice system, whereas the police is more holistic. Within the police, we have an intelligence branch, but then it has operations.
FIA also has the intelligence branch.
Indeed, sir.
What is they both control narcotics to an extent, excise and ANF. Why two separate agencies for that?
Sir, I believe that the ANF is supposed to be a more specialized force with regard to anti-narcotics, where the excise that is not the only thing that it does. So it is not purely specialized in anti-narcotics.
Okay. Last question. Can you shed light on Prophet's role as a teacher, being a teacher yourself?
Indeed, sir. Our Prophet ﷺ's life and his biggest role was that of a teacher, because similarly as to all the Anbiya said, Nabi ﷺ was the last one, and after him the relationship of God and his people through prophets was supposed to end till Qiyamah. So the biggest role that he plays was through a teacher. He taught firstly his family members and his close aides in the early years, and then the Sahaba Karam in the following years, who then went on to become the Khulafai Rashidun. So they were taught in such detail that they had a detailed understanding of every walk of life, and how to and regarding the administration, regarding the welfare system that Islam advocated, the justice system.
You are going off topic. Tell me in like 2-3. I was asking about in 2-3 points the main ingredients of Prophet's teaching. That's it.
Sir, in his teaching, he was the biggest thing is that his message was divine. Number 2, he was greatly eloquent. He was soft and at the same time affirming and stern when he used to talk. Depends on what he was talking about. Some of his khutbat that he used to give, his eyes used to go red and his voice used to be.
Thank you.
Let's conclude it. Let's have informal discussion.
Sir.
Where you rate yourself? Assessment करो अपनी self 1 to 10 के scale पे.
Sir, I think I have a lot of room for improvement. So
कुछ तो करो ना यार.
Sir, maybe 6.
अच्छा देखो, बात ये है कि you are very good in our view. ठीक है ना? But there are certain areas where you need to focus. एक तो अपना इंट्रोडक्शन को शॉर्ट करो. 1 minute 1 minute में डिलीवर करना, लंबी कोई बात नहीं कि ऑब्जेक्टिविटी है. दिस इज अ प्रोफेशनल इंटरव्यू, जॉब इंटरव्यू है. जाके लिखो और फिर उसमें से एक पेज निकालो जिसमें योर क्वालिफिकेशन, सम अचीवमेंट. बाकी मतलब है कि लेट्स ट्राई टू बी ऑब्जेक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए. ठीक है. पर्सनैलिटी, यू हैव गॉट ए गुड पर्सनैलिटी, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल वेरी साउंड, इंटेलिजेंट हो, कॉन्फिडेंस हो, नॉलेज के साथ इंटेलिजेंस आती है. ठीक है. अब फोकस करो न्यूज़पेपर पे. तुम्हारा 80% एग्जाम इसी में से होगा, इंटरव्यू होगा. 80% जो तुम लिख के दोगे उनको. ये तुमने कहा है ना हमजा, बिशारत, हमजा पे भी बात हो सकती है, बिशारत पे भी बात हो सकती है. तो यू शुड बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट दी कंसेप्ट. लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल तुम खुद कह रहे हो, कश्मीर पे बात हो सकती है. ठीक है. इकोनॉमिक्स तुम्हारा सब्जेक्ट है, इकोनॉमिक पे बात हो सकती है. और बाकी जो तुमने जो कुछ भी लिखा है, एवरी टॉपिक कुड बी डिस्कस्ड. ठीक है. तो करेंटली मेरी तरफ से तुम्हें यह है कि न्यूज़पेपर पे फोकस करो. पिछले 3 महीने के लो, लास्ट 3 months, उनकी इंटरनेशनल न्यूज़, नेशनल न्यूज़ और सोशल जो भी इश्यूज उसमें आ रहे हैं, उनको करो, पॉइंट वाइज करो. और ये जो है ना, डिस्कशन में लंबी बात नहीं हो सकती, टू द पॉइंट बात होती है इंटरव्यूज में. ठीक है ना. तो उस पर अपनी नोटबुक बनाओ, अगर नहीं है तो बनाओ, अगर है तो उसको हर पॉइंट पे, CPEC पे 1 2 3 4 पॉइंट, एनर्जी क्राइसिस 1 2 3 4 पॉइंट. ठीक है. यूक्रेन रशिया 1 2 3 पॉइंट. इस तरह पॉइंट वाइज लिखो और उनको दोबारा रोज देखो, रिहर्स करते रहो. तो देन आई थिंक वो फिर स्टिक हो जाते हैं इन द माइंड. तो बाय द टाइम यू कम फॉर गो फॉर इंटरव्यू, तो यू विल बी मोर शार्प. ठीक है ना. दिस इज व्हाट आई विल एडवाइस. थैंक यू. ओवर टू यू सर.
हाँ, आप जो है ना, इसमें आपका नॉलेज अच्छा है और यू हैव गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. लेकिन ये इसमें मैंने जो आपको सवाल किया था नैब का, मैंने कहा मेरा सवाल था कि अगर नई बनती है तो उसका स्ट्रक्चर और मैंडेट क्या होगा. तो यू शुड बी रादर देन सेइंग कि ये जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करता है इसको हम ठीक कर लेंगे. You should have come forward with some proposals कि ये इस तरह होना चाहिए. This should be इसकी broad parameters जो है ना इस तरह से. ठीक है. क्यों जो सवाल किए उसका आप कोशिश करें जवाब देने की कोशिश करें. तो बाकी ठीक है, आपने बाकी सवालों के जवाब बड़े अच्छे दिए आपने. And you've done very well. बाकी ठीक है. You have done well, and I'm sure you'll put up with better performance.
Hamza, you have a very good personality. You're a smart boy. You're good in communication. Your answers are very lengthy. In interview, people don't have that much patience. So just focus on few important points and deliver them. And if the panel is interested in more, they can ask you. Okay? So focus on the question. What is the question? And give them salient points rather than going into a whole spiel because there is no time for that. The books that you've mentioned, please go through them again.
All right.
So that you can be, I mean, Sun Tzu's Art of War, everybody knows by heart. It's a small book. So people can ask you a lot of questions on its interpretation. So it's not knowing what he said, but its interpretation, especially in context of India, Pakistan. Can you win a war without having a war? Questions like that. Same goes for mega threats. What are mega threats for Pakistan? You're a winning horse, you do well.
Your strength is your personality, the way you speak. But for God's sake, take pauses. Help the panelists to, help you. When you will take pause, you go very on. सारे panelists ने कहा बहुत लंबे answers देते हो. तो अगर रास्ते में कहीं रुकोगे तो we'll stop you and we'll ask you another question. So you're given a task and you run for that and you don't stop. Lengthy answers, cut them short. The answers you give, take a थोड़ा सा पॉज लिया करो ताकि हमें ये हो सके. बाकी चीज़ें आइडेंटिफाई हो गई हैं. नॉलेज गैप के थोड़े से हैं इश्यूज. क्रिमिनोलॉजी आपका सब्जेक्ट है. PSP इज़ वन ऑफ योर ऑप्शंस. तो आपको लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट का मैकेनिज्म पता होना चाहिए. FIA क्या करती है, क्या मैंडेट है, NF का, एक्साइज का. ये मैंने सारी चीज़ें आपको पता है क्रिमिनोलॉजी के सिलेबस में से पूछी. बाहर से कुछ नहीं पूछा.
बिल्कुल सर, ये मुझे होना चाहिए.
तो वो जुवेनाइल जस्टिस सिस्टम में भी आपने रैंडम एक जेनेरिक आंसर दिया है. आपने मुझे 2018 के एक्ट का वाला जवाब नहीं दिया. तो वो इन चीज़ों पे थोड़ा सा काम करें. बाकी यू आर देयर ऑलमोस्ट. जस्ट ये थोड़ा सा पुश जरूरत है. यू शुड नो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर, लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल एंड लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल इफ यू डोंट नो इट ऑलरेडी.
ठीक.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
बहुत शुक्रिया.